Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, June 3rd. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, guys, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start market liquidity over here. So good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 3rd, 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. I'm going to start market liquidity over here. It's going to mark the closer levels of liquidity because I'm not really expecting price to go super far. Going down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys, market has just opened right here. Closest level of liquidity below is at 38,764. I'll mark up opening price right there. Going over to our clean chart over here, marking up opening price. Clean this up a little bit. I'm only seeing 4-hour structure nearby. You have 1-hour structure right here. And that's about it. All right, guys, so market is now open. As you guys can see, the volatility is pretty decent. It's currently 13 ATR. Going over to our main chart, it's going to mark the opening price right here. So we currently have a bullish bias right now. With regard to the trend, you can see prices above the pivots. Pivots are angling up, trend meter's green. So we might be looking for some bias here. The PRB is currently setting up right now as price continues to bounce off a pivot. So we have the first rejection right there. If we have some space consolidation candle, we'll look for the retest of the pivots and possibly a PRB entry. However, there's nothing else here right now at the very moment. We can still have something here set up for a momentum divergence. You can see we have a buy signal here. Divergence is bullish. retrace back here to bearish. And if it swings back up, we could have a possibility for entry. However, it's not set up here yet. And it does not look like we have anything here lined up. So let's see what happens in a few. Karen's asking where's the upper level liquidity. So the lower level liquidity is right here at 38,764. The upper level liquidity is over here at 38,915. So it's pretty far away, about 100 points away for it to go back to the top. So when you look at that later, we'll see if it gets any closer to it. But the lower level liquidity is right here at 38,764. Lower level just got hit right there. Let's see if it continues to drop from here. If it continues to drop, then we might be looking for a sell. But right now, obviously the trend here is still bullish. So gotta give it some time. ATR is currently at 16, getting a huge wick on this candle. Karen's asking if anyone's trader bait's delayed. Mine's fine right now, so you might want to log out and log back in. Karen, that'll probably fix it. That's usually what happens. All right, so we got price just going sideways right here. There's not really too much going on yet. We have that higher high right there established. So there goes the resistance. We got the 1 minute resistance right here. We have the 1 minute support currently pending. If this here establishes as the lower low, then we will mark this up as the 1 minute support. We don't have that yet, but that could be what's coming next. There's a possible BB3 here setting up as well off that higher high. So pending sell signal, if this continues to drop, this could be the breakout V3. There's no PRB here yet. There hasn't been a space consolidation candle. Everything's pretty much been pushing through. We got news over here at 6:45, news at 7. So I'll mark that up. It's coming up soon, so we might not be able to take anything yet. High impact news right here at 6:45. Some more news at 7 o'clock. So at 6:45, we have S&P Global Factory PMI. This is inflation news. And then at 7 o'clock, we have ISM Manufacturing Employment, ISM Manufacturing PMI, ISM Manufacturing Prices, and ISM Manufacturing New Orders. So we have a lot of inflation news today with regard to PMI. Hey, Maria, morning. All right, so we just gotta sit tight. There's not really much going on here right now. The trend's still technically bullish right now, so price swings back up. I mean, this could be a setup for a momentum divergence to the upside. Lower low still not established yet, so we don't have that support there. So we might get, this will be a little too close though. I'm not going to take this one right here, guys. This candle is way too big. This might be the momentum divergence. You guys can see how it's starting to cross right here. But it just kind of depends on how this candle here closes. Yeah, so it didn't actually close as big as it started. So there's no momentum divergence there. If we get like a strong green candle right here, this will be considered the momentum divergence. But again, it has not closed yet. Right there. It's kind of tricky movement here because it looks like price is attempting to correct back up, but not quite. Pending sell signal here again. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said wicks everywhere. there's not really much of a direction. The good thing is that there is volatility in the market, but there's not really much direction yet. The support here is actually established now because price did push back up. So I'm going to mark this up as a support. The thing that you want to look out for here is a possible fake out. So just keep that in mind, guys. Look for the possible fake out below. So this is the actual range. You can see how price was actually ranging between these points pre-market. Price kind of sat around the support level. And now it's breaking below it. So just be careful for the fake out below here, because this can possibly be the case where price just ends up breaking below right here, faking out, and then coming right back up. So just keep that in mind. Looks like the lower level liquidity got hit. Next one's coming down as well. So the next level of liquidity is at 38,734, a little farther below. And I turned off my computer over the weekend because I was out of town, and now all of my tabs are all messed up. So this here is the breakout V3 looks like. If anybody was looking to take it there. Actually, no, I take that back. It's not. The double body was lower. All right, so yeah, price kind of pushing down a little lower. There's no setup here. The trend started to shift to a bearish trend. So if this is the case, you might be looking for some sells here. I was looking for price to swing back up, but now that we have a bearish trend, we'll be looking for some sells here. Price is currently rejecting off the Asia low right here. So we'll see what happens from this point. Price can do one of two things. Price is currently bouncing off the Asia low right here. So price can either bounce off it, come right back up, or price might swing down and continue climbing lower from here. So just see how price reacts to the Asia low right here. It's either going to correct back up or it's going to come back down, break through, and drop down even further. The PRB could start setting up for a sell now. It's not set up yet, but possibly. If we continue to have this trend here, I'll start looking for some V1 variations and some CVs. So I'll be looking for some momentum divergences. I'll be looking for some CVs. I'll be looking for some V1 variations. Just whatever we can look for here that can possibly set up opportunity for entry. We do have news coming up in about 5 minutes. It's high impact news, PMI. So we got S&P Global Factoring PMI coming up at 645, high impact. It's forecasted to be positive, but you guys have seen it's not always the case where the price actually goes in that direction. So probably wait for the market to react to the news before we look at taking anything here. All right, so price is still reacting to the sessions down here. As you guys can see, price pulled up, now it's coming back down. Looks like a double fake out here, possibly. Looks like price came down, faked out from this point, swung back up, faked out from this point, not coming back down for the retest. We do have news right here at 645, so this is probably where you want to sit tight and just wait. News is coming up in about 4 minutes. Not really sure how price is going to react to it, so, and it's high impact. Plus the ATR is pretty high right now, currently at 22. All right, so you guys see the fake out below that I was warning you guys about. I said when price broke below the support here, watch out for the fake out. It's probably going to fake out and swing back up. That's exactly what happened here. It's It's not a new support level. Like this support level here has been pretty much, it faked out earlier this morning during London session right there, faked out again right here during London session, came back around, swung below, faked out during New York session. So this support here is pretty established, as you guys can see. I didn't mark it up till later, but you guys can see right here that it's pretty much faked out from this point about 3 times. So just be careful for another fake out that can happen here as well. Not really too much to work with here. Got news over here at 7 o'clock, or sorry, 6:45 at 7 o'clock. This could be setting up for momentum divergence, but again, it's too close to the news right here, so probably not. We got about 3 minutes till news. This is also setting up for a PRB. We got price bearish right here right now. Rejected off the pivots, and rejected again right here. So you'd be looking for the space consolidation candle then for the next rejection for the PRB. But again, it's going to happen so close to news right here that you probably want to wait. We got 2 minutes till news. We'll see how price reacts to it. Let me refresh the NBC right now. So looking at CNBC, the fundamentals are currently neutral right now. They're currently -14, so they're not very high. Update over here is S&P rises to start the new month as NVIDIA shares gain. This is reported at 9:35. You can see at 9:35 here, price actually came crashing down. It did the opposite. Is it price is going up, but it actually did the opposite and came down. So we got news coming up in 2 minutes. There's no PRB entry here yet. Looking over here at liquidity. Here's a clean chart. Price again is trying to break below the support level. So we got price breaking below. We'll see if it actually closes. Got news in 1 minute. All right, so price is below the support level right now on the clean chart. This could have been the momentum divergence, but it's too close to the sessions and also too close to news. So we got price diverging right here. If it ends up closing as a strong red candle. But again, probably not. All right, we got news in 5 seconds. And here goes the news candle right here. I'm going to mark up news. Color that pink. So the news was positive. It was forecasted to be 50.9. It was actually 51.3. So news at 6:45 was positive. Let's see if price reacts to it and if it actually pushes up. So you can see over here from the clean chart, price again faked out below the support level. You just want to be careful whenever price pulls back below here. I'd prefer to trade up here, within the range than to trade below the support where you're probably going to get faked out. I mean, price might just range right here between the support level now. We have another news event at 7 o'clock. It's also high impact. So we got one more news event over here at 7 o'clock. We have ISM manufacturing employment and ISM manufacturing PMI. Also inflation news. We have manufacturing prices, new orders, construction spending, etc. That's low impact, but the main thing here to look for would be the PMI manufacturing. It's forecasted to be positive as well. So because the earlier news was positive, I'm expecting this to probably be positive as well. You can see how price is still sitting below here though. So you can see how price did not really react to the news as anticipated to be bullish. And the movement might happen later. So you can see over here, it's pretty clear that price is just consolidating between this little area right here between news price and these sessions. It's probably going to consolidate and move sideways until news happens right here at 7. And then it'll probably climb right back up to opening price. That's just what I'm assuming. It might happen, might not, but realistically, you can see here, it's pretty clear that price is just ranging between this middle area right here. All right. So there's still nothing here. Trying to see if a PRV actually came up yet. So rejection, 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 space. So the PRV is actually running right now, guys. PRV is running in profit down here. So we had the rejection right here. The space consolidation was this green candle and the final rejection right here, but it was the news candle. So it'd be hard to take. But the PRV actually happened right here off the rejection on this candle. So the entry started on the open of this candle right here. So if you guys are taking the PRV is currently running in profit right here. Obviously not one I'd take, but we still do identify it for a majority of the people here who still want to take it. So there goes the PRV. There's no BB3 here, but the PRV is running right there in profit. Price is currently below the support level. It's a little bit of a tricky area right there. Looks like the PRV is about to hit CP and it just did. So if you guys took the PRV, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's fine. I didn't take it myself. So it doesn't count as one of the official trades here, of course. I'm still looking for, more opportunities here. There was a CV entry that came up right here, but it was right at around news time. So there's a high here at the green candle, smaller red candle right there. And that was a CV entry for anybody who was looking. But again, there's just too much news right here. We might have to wait for this next news event to happen as well before we can start looking for any opportunities here. But I'm looking for, there's basically like 3 different entries that I'm looking for here. I'm looking for CV entries, variation V1s, and the main thing would be the momentum divergence. The momentum divergence actually came up right here on this candle. The only problem is that the sessions was right there, and that was right after news. So this right here was the momentum divergence where it started to cross. All right, so price is below the support level right here. You can see how price is slightly starting to kind of fake out again down below. We got news again at 7 o'clock. It's about 10 minutes from now. So I'll be looking for a couple opportunities here, but I'm not seeing anything happening anytime soon. We just don't have much time between here and news at 7 o'clock. Unless we get a CV entry or a V1 variation sometime very soon, I'm not really expecting much to happen here. But 2 entries have come up, not official entries because I didn't take them myself, but there was a CV entry right there. I just want to show you an example so you know what to look out for on the next setup that comes up. And then also the PRV over here that I don't typically take, one of the breakout entries. Liquidity down below is currently pushing lower. There's no more levels below here as of now. So that's pretty much all the liquidity right here for this current price structure. Here's the levels chart that I was mentioning last week. You can see how price is coming back down below. So we had price breaking close below the whole number right here, 750. Price came up for retracement, came back below right here on this candle. And my guess is that price is likely to push down to the next level right here, to the 700 mark. So if price continues to drop lower, this is probably the target price point that I expect price to push down to, the next whole number, 700. So I'll be looking for some opportunities for entry here. So if price retraces up, I'll be looking for a possible V1 variation, come back down, possibly a CD entry right here too. Possibly price to swing back up. momentum divergence. I'm just looking for the retracement. So I'm looking for price to retrace up, give me a reversal pattern back down, and possibly ride this down to the 700 mark right there. Nothing set up yet, but that's pretty much what we'd be looking for. There's another support level right here that was established. You guys can see how the fake outs happened. So we had a support level right there. This new support was established after price flew back up. And again, right here, another fake out down below as it pulls back into the range right here. All right, so still nothing here for us to take. So there's a couple different things here that we'd be looking for. The main thing we'd be looking for is the buy signal. So we're looking for a buy signal here because we want to confirm the retracement, right? We can't take any V1 variations until we have that opposite momentum signal. And then from there, we can't really take any momentum divergence because this divergence was already used, right? We had a sell signal here, price came below, retraced up, crossed back over right here. Unfortunately, we couldn't have taken the entry right here because of these sessions and because of the news. So the next thing we have here would have to be a reset of the movement and direction. We have news over here at 7 o'clock. It's about 7 minutes away. So we'll see if anything happens from now until then. Otherwise, price will probably just start to consolidate around this area until news happens. And then from there, climb back up or climb down further. All right, so nothing here right now. Daniel said MPS. So let's see, price came below right here. Never came up yet. This one never triggered. Looks like the MPS happened right here at 652. It was right at the sessions though, so it's kind of tricky at the Asia low. If anybody caught that, it looks like Daniel might have caught it. Yeah, there was an MPS right here. Price came down below. It retraced up to this point. I mean, technically, there's two different areas where the MPS could have came up. This would probably be the first one, but it's so close to the price number right there that I don't think I'd be able to catch that one. So there was one MPS right there. It was just super close to the line though. So if you missed that one, the next one would have happened right here where price pushed back up. And again, the entry could have happened. It was right on the line. So it would have happened right here at the 30 mark, or if you wanted to catch it higher at the 40 mark right there. Either way, either of these entries would have hit. First one would have been right there. Second would have been right there. The third one would have been up there for the MPS at that point. Nice. So Daniel over here took the 651 one. Nice. So this one right here, solid. Yeah, it was just so close to the lines that I wouldn't be able to identify. For me personally, if we would have waited for it, I think this would have been considered a FOMO move for me personally because it's really hard to tell. I'd have to wait for this up here. Also, the news coming up over here at 7 o'clock, kind of tricky. Let's see, Barack said, wish this market would give us more of this motivated momentum or some news have helped today. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Barack. I mean, there's direction today. It's like price isn't consolidating like it was before. I mean, it's still consolidating a little bit, but for the most part, it is moving directional here. So it's a lot better than it was last month. We just have news. We have too much news in one area. So we had news over here at 6:45, then again at 7. So once this 7 o'clock news passes, I'm hoping that the direction volatility continue so that we can possibly look for opportunity in that direction. Right. It's just for the most part, I'm waiting for news here to pass. At about 4 minutes till news. Price is dumping here a little bit. Even so, there's no entries here for us to take to begin with. So wouldn't really make a difference for me personally. The only thing I would be looking for here would possibly be a CV entry. So I'm looking for some sort of strong green candle to establish a high, and then I would look for it to come right back down, of course. All right. Nothing here. So you guys can see the levels over here that I marked up earlier. I said price is probably going to push to that 700 mark, and it did. So I like to use this as a confluence. I mean, if you guys want to take this as a standalone entry, you guys can as well. We'll keep following me, and if I see anything else here play through, I mean, this kind of shows you which direction price is going to go to. What I typically do is if I see the push in that direction, I'll typically put the TP at the next level, and then I'll put the stop loss for a 1-to-1 opposite direction. So right here, price is climbing back up. If it climbs back up, I'll look for it to swing back down, retrace, and then come back down even further from there. But we do have news coming up in about 2 minutes. So price is probably going to consolidate here. Until news happens at 7. Maria's asking, when will the June's contract change? It usually tells you once you log into your NinjaTrader. I haven't gotten a notification yet, so I don't think it changes yet. It might happen probably next week. So I'm not sure when it's going to change yet. See if we can look it up over here. It says Friday, June 9th. Or actually, this is a different year. Let me see. It typically happens on the third Friday. Yeah, so it says traders will determine when they need to move to a new contract by watching the volume on both the expiring contract and the next month contract. So because there's still volume on this contract, there's no specific date when it's going to when you have to move, but you'll see when the volume dies down. So when the chart starts to die down on June, we'll move over to the next month. Because it just rolls over to the next month pretty much. So I mean, I'll let you guys know when it happens, but I'm not expecting it to happen. There's no specific date. Like you don't have to change it a certain date, unless the broker tells you specifically like, hey, you have to change because the contract is ending. I think the latest date you could trade is the last day of June, but for the most part, it usually rolls over midway through. Huge candle right here off the news, guys. So the news happened right here at 7 o'clock. This is why we don't trade news. The news here was actually negative. So, or actually one of them was positive. So we had manufacturing employment, which was positive. Everything else was negative. Manufacturing PMI, which is high impact, was negative. Manufacturing price is negative. Manufacturing new orders negative, and construction spending negative as well. So we'll see how price reacts to this here. We don't have anything here yet, but we'll see how price, if it continues to follow it or if it continues to go the other way. Let's see what I got. Nice work, Nick. Just saw your message right now. All right, so there's no entries here yet. Price is not correcting back down, super heavy. just nothing here for us to take. There's no momentum divergence because you already have we've used it over here. There's no CB entry here, no V1 variation. I mean, there's probably not going to be a V1 variation anytime soon because of, current movement. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said just want this buy signal to close so we can reset. Yeah, exactly. For the most part, that's pretty much what I'm looking for, but don't really have anything here specifically. So let's go back to the levels over here. I wouldn't really mess with the levels right now. I would wait for some sort of like a regular movement because the levels right here got pushed up because of the news candle and then it pushed back down because of the news candle. So price is reacting to the news right here. I'd probably look for price to maybe consolidate here for a little bit, start to move normal, come back down, retrace, and continuation, of course. All right, so it looks like we're starting to get a consolidation area right here. Let me mark up the new zone. There's another support level right here. All right, so there's a new support here. Price is respecting it. Rejection right there. Rejection right there. So we do have our support level down here. Pending buy signal. All right, so the volatility is still pretty decent. I mean, it's starting to die down. It just has some big candles right here. This one is just huge. 60-point move. 75-point move. This candle right here, a little smaller. And this one right here, again, a little smaller. So the ATR right now is currently super high because of the news candles. These two news candles right here pushed up and pushed down about 100 points total. So like from this lower point right here to this point up here, it pushed up about 105 points. So that's 1,050 pips if you're counting in pips. Pretty big move right there based off the news. And now the candles are getting a lot smaller, which is fine. I mean, the market could slow down here a little bit. And then what we'd be looking for next is, the next opportunity, of course. All right, so let's see where this goes. It looks like price is going to be ranging between this middle area right here. So I'll be looking for some entries between this area. I'll be looking for some V1 variations. We really just need the buy signal here to close. If the buy signal could close, this will provide us the retracement that we're looking for. So we just need a confirmation of retracement. Once we get that confirmation, then we can start looking for some opportunities here. I'll be looking for some V1 variations, basically looking for price to retrace up, then correct back down. Maybe some CB entries, maybe a momentum divergence. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of different opportunities that can come up here. There's a couple there's a high-low scalp right here, but it was at the sessions. I'm just looking at any opportunities that have come up here. I'm looking for any patterns to see which strategies would work best. For the most part, I don't really see too much here. The MPS is probably the best thing that came up today. There was a couple momentum divergences, but again, they happened at the sessions. The PRB came up earlier too. BB3 hasn't come up yet. There just hasn't been very many I guess right here could have been a VV3 continuation, but it doesn't really happen very often. I don't know why we didn't identify that earlier, but the momentum signals just don't come up as often. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. We finally got that buy signal that we were looking for. All right, so the buy signal is actually pushing up a little strong right here. Yeah, Daniel, so the ATR is 29 right now, super high. So you want to be careful. I think the thing you want to be careful for is probably the MPS entries, guys, because the ATR is so high right now, you'd have to like probably use a wider TP stop loss. Looking at this candle here, let me measure it. So this candle right here was about 25 points. This candle right here that's currently running, this is about 43 points. This could be a CB entry right here. The only problem with this is that it's at the sessions again right here. It's right at the sessions. So there is a CB entry here that is setting up, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not going to take it because it's right at the sessions, but this is what I was looking for. Yeah, set a red flag. I can't take the entry here. For sure can't take the entry, but this is the setup I was looking for. I was looking for the buy signal to retrace up, look for the high green candle, look for the smaller red candle right here. The smaller red candle would probably identify that price is likely to push down to fill this green candle. But unfortunately, we can't take the trade because it is at a red flag, which is where manipulation typically happens. So fortunately, my entry here is not going to play through because of the red flag there. Nick said he's going to be using a 1030 today. Probably the better idea to be safe, especially if the ATR stays super high. So a couple of things here that we'll probably be looking for next will be a sell signal. If we get a sell signal here, I'll be looking for a couple of things. I'll be looking for a breakout V3 continuation, mainly because it played out over here earlier. So I'll be looking for a breakout V3 continuation. I'm still looking for the V1 variations. The V1s go hand in hand with the CB entries. And then on top of that, I'll be looking for momentum divergence. So it looks like the entry over here actually would have played through. Unfortunately, we couldn't take it because obviously the reasons I gave you guys there. But there goes the CB entry right there that I was looking for. So this is the setup I was looking for. The only problem is that the sessions was right there, but this was the entry. Could have been a nice entry, but it's okay. Rather be safe. Today's Monday, so as you guys know, Monday's like the feeler day for the week. We haven't had a full week in a while because of the news or the holiday last week. If you guys are not familiar with the feeler days, Monday's typically the day where the market patterns are going to play through. Identify the market patterns on Monday and then see if it continues on Tuesday. If that's the case, and the market's typically going to move in this similar direction for the rest of the week. So I'm glad that it's moving like this. We're actually having some pretty decent direction here, which is a big plus in my book. So if I get a V1 variation and it comes down to news price right here, I'll be okay with taking it because the news price over here is kind of like been used up already. I don't really expect this as an area of liquidity. The sessions though, they're still kind of iffy. So I wouldn't mess with the sessions, but the news price down here I think might be okay. Again, it's going to be a case-by-case basis, so I'm not going to be picking and choosing just yet, but for the most part, it looks like there could be a possibility of it working decently fine. So we get a sell signal right here that's pending. Let's go to our clean chart. So it's pretty much doing what we talked about earlier, right? I mentioned price is probably going to consolidate within this middle area right here, and that's literally what's happening. So I'm good with this here. I'm just looking for it to possibly swing up, come back down, provide rejection off the structure or anything up there, and push back down from where it's currently at. Once we have that, then we can possibly get, opportunity for an entry here. So again, first thing I'm looking for is a possible CV, V1 variation. So I'm looking for price to push up, provide a reversal pattern, then come back down. Looking for the sell right there. The other thing I'd be looking for is a sell signal with the red candle to follow it. That'll be a breakout V3 continuation. The other thing I'll be looking for would be a momentum divergence. So I'll look for price to maybe come down a little bit, retrace up, come back down. So there's a couple different things here that I'm looking for. I'm not kind of set into like one thing like we've been last week. Last week, we're mainly focused on momentum divergence, but this week, there's going to be different opportunities here based on the movement because the ATR is pretty decent. We're having some directional movement. Price might just consolidate within this middle area, which is fine too. We'll take some CV, V1 variations. We'll find something that'll fit. It's just a matter of time until this here starts to smoothen out, of course. 7:12 right now. I feel like we've been on this live session I thought it was closer to 8, but it's only 7:12 right now. We have a lot of time, guys. We got a lot of time until 8 o'clock. So I don't need to force anything here. Just got to wait for the market to really give us what we're looking for. All right, so nothing here yet. All right, we might have another CV entry right here, guys. Check the criteria for CV again. Yeah, we might get another CV entry right here if this candle closes red. It might touch the sessions. I don't know, I might take that back. So like I said, it might touch the sessions, which makes it a red flag. But if this candle here closed red, this would have been a CV entry. So, I mean, the CV entry might come up. I'm not going to take it, of course. It's touching the sessions right there. But again, same setup as this one right here that I was looking for. This strategy is very similar to a V1 variation. Actually, no, I take that back. It's not. Because this candle pushed past this one. It would have to be a high green candle and a smaller red candle. This one pushed up, so the high there got pushed back further, and it was no longer set up for that specific entry. So let's see if we get a shift in trend. You guys can see the pivots are starting to swing to the upside. If that's the case, we might get a shift back to the upside right here. But again, it looks like price is probably going to get stuck around this area, fake out, pull back below. There's a lot of stuff that can happen here right now. But you guys can see how messy the market currently is right now. The good thing is that we are having some movement. So price isn't just going sideways. It's actually pushing below, coming back above. Like I wouldn't mind if price pushes back above here and then ranges within this middle area. Or if it wants to come back down, that's fine too. Pull back down and range below this area right here. Doesn't really matter to me. All right, here is the levels chart again. So you can see price is actually just ranging between the 50 mark right here and 700 mark down here. pretty much just ranging back and forth between this area. Kind of lines up with their zones here, but not so much. All right, we have a pending sell signal right here right now. I'll be looking for a possible breakout V3 continuation. If it cuts into the news price right here, I'll be okay with taking it, possibly. I'll see how it looks when it comes up, but most likely I'll be okay with taking it there. You guys can see the volume here starting to die down a little bit. You just get these bursts of movement, like the candle will be slow for a little bit, it'll shoot up, go slow for a little bit, shoot up, come back down. The pending sell signal here does not look like it's going to close because there's not enough power behind it. We're probably not going to get it on this candle. It'll probably come up on the next one. Daniel said, weird, my Asia low is at 38,354. Try removing it and putting it back on, Daniel. That might fix it, because I know over the weekend sometimes the data gets kind of corrupted. Like for me, I turned off my computer for the weekend, so when I turned it back on, everything was all messed up on my chart. So I had to just reset everything. But you can try to just take off the sessions indicator, then add it back onto your chart. It for the most part, that usually fixes it. So if you ever see something weird like that, just remove the indicator and put it back on. It'll usually line up. Unless you played with the settings, because I know some people mess with the settings sometimes, and that might have messed it up. But if you just remove it and put it back on, or just go to reset the defaults, it'll probably fix it. All right, so we don't have anything here yet, guys. Price is still kind of just sitting around this area where the sessions is at. This is why you don't want to trade, because a lot of manipulation happens around this point. Again, I'm just looking for price to break below and continue dropping. Or if it decides to climb up, that's fine too. It looks like the trend here is trying to shift. So you can see how the trend here is starting to climb up. It's trying to shift up, but it's not really having much power behind the volatility. So it's trying to climb to the upside. But when it does, it comes right back down and then just ends up going into a range. So here we go to see if it retests this area again. All right, so there's not really much going on here. Price is just sitting over here at the sessions. All right, there's like literally nothing happened right here. It's again, I'll keep going between the charts so that you guys can see the different market structure. So this is price structure. You guys can see everything's lined up at the 50 and the 100 mark. It's really just going between the price structure here, between the 50 and the 100 down here. So I'll go between here so that you guys can see. Go back to the clean chart over here. You guys can see it's not really doing much either. I mean, if anything, I can probably delete this. No, I'll leave it up there. It looks fine as is. I'll just leave the multiple structure up here because it does help when you guys can see kind of where price is bouncing off of. It looks like it's just kind of sitting in between this area right here for right now. So I think this is like the midway point. This is the midway point right now. Price is either going to break below and pull into this range, or it's going to break above and stay within this range up here. But it's going to keep pulling back into this middle area right here of consolidation before it decides which direction it wants to go. I was looking for the sell signal here so that we can get the continuation down, but you can see that it doesn't really pull down far enough. The sessions right here acts as a magnet. So you guys can see how price pulls below and it pulls right back to the purple line right here, which is the Asia low. Price pushes above, pulls back to the purple line. So this purple line here is pretty much where price just gets pulled back to. Eventually, it's going to break above and climb up higher, or break below and climb down lower. But until then, I mean, it looks like price is just going to kind of sit around this area for the time being. Looks like we're finally getting that sell signal. And I take that back, I guess not. All right, so we're just gonna have to wait for it to break out of this consolidation area. And it's really just at the whole number right there. So it's pretty much just gonna sit there, it looks like. If this is the case and it breaks above, then, okay, let me show you a scenario, guys. So if the trend shifts above over here, and we get something like this, and it pulls back down, and then it comes back up, I'm expecting price to push to the next whole number over here, because you guys can see how the trend is attempting to shift up. If this doesn't happen and it doesn't shift up like this, then I'm going to look for the same thing in the opposite direction. I'm going to look for price to break below, pull back slightly, come back below, and then push down to this whole number down here. So I'm looking at multiple things here. I'm looking at momentum, I'm looking at trend, I'm looking at divergence. You can see this pattern right here that's playing through. If this actually pulls through and we get the divergence right there, the reason why I'm looking for the buy here is because we have a buy signal that's been pending for a long time, or that's been established for a long time. Typically, if you have a buy signal like this that's been sitting there for a while, odds are it's probably going to keep pushing up higher because it's not having any trouble. It's not having any luck pushing right back below. Same with this over here. See how the sell signal came below? This is the pattern I just mentioned. So the same pattern right here came up right here. We had a sell signal, bearish trend, broke below, retraced up a little bit, broke below right here. Once it broke below, it pushed down to the next level, right? So I'm looking for the same thing right here. Price is now climbing, and I'm looking for the same pattern. So the same pattern that came up right here, broke below, retraced, pushed down to the next level. I'm looking for that to happen right here. We had a buy signal right here, kind of consolidated up a bit. Now I'm looking for it to break above, retrace, continue up higher. Same pattern, just opposite direction. All right, so if that's the case, that is completely fine. But again, you can see right here how price pulls right back to that purple line. That purple line is acting as a magnet right now. Price pushes away, pulls back to the purple line. Pushes below, pulls back to the purple line. This is why you don't trade at the sessions, because the sessions tends to be an area of manipulation. So again, right here, we have the trend shifting, but it's not really, it's kind of just going back and forth. The divergence here actually never crossed above. So you guys can see down here, the divergence never crossed above. So this pattern here it still hasn't played through. So we need the divergence to actually come above to confirm that, okay, price is diverging to the upside. It's ready to climb. Right now, it hasn't diverged, so we're still bearish right now. Trend hasn't shifted yet. We'll see again if it bounces off the pivots and comes back up, but at this very moment, nothing. All right, so we got the sell signal here pending again. The trend is it's going back and forth. 7:30 right now. About 30 minutes till 8, guys. Hoping the volatility picks back up. You guys can see the pending sell signal has been pending since like way back here. So at this point, we just want price to break out of this consolidation area. So again, here we go with another attempt. We'll see if this here breaks and closes above it. If it breaks and closes above this level right here, the 50 mark, I'm expecting this probably to climb. It might come up, retrace a little bit, but I think eventually the end price right here, end goal is going to be bullish. But again, right here, this candle does not look like it's going to close above. I'm mainly looking for the divergence here to cross over. I'm just looking for confirmations. The more confirmations you have, the better idea you have where price is going to go. But again, right here, failed to cross above. And it's just going sideways right here down the middle. We had some pretty good movement here on open though. So like from 6:30 up until, we'll say like 7:15. Like the first 30 minutes of market here moved pretty nice. And then it just flattened out. Yeah, Daniel said the pivots are just sideways now. Yeah, exactly. It's straight sideways, just going in that direction. So again, we might have opportunity here for price to come back down lower. Starting to get some volatility here. I mean, again, personally, guys, I don't care where price goes. I just want the price to go somewhere. Yeah, Daniel said don't scare it. All right, so we got this here. Let's see if it comes back down. No. Yeah, it's just getting pulled back to the session. So let me just turn this off real quick. I'll turn off the pivots. So you guys can see price will pull below it, pull back to the sessions, push above it, pull back to the sessions, below it, pull back to the sessions. We really just need price to just push and hold. Once it pushes down hard enough and holds, then that'll probably be where price continues to push. But we have a pending sell signal here again. Starting to get some push behind it. So it looks like we're finally going to get the sell signal here to close. All right, so the sell signal has closed. If the candle here closes red, this is going to be a breakout V3 continuation. One that I'm looking to possibly take. We got about 40 seconds left on this candle, so I would be okay with it maybe bouncing off the pivot, coming back down hard. But the candle would have to close red. So we got about 20 seconds left on this candle here. Again, I'm watching it to see if it closes red. If it closes red, I'll take it as a breakout V3 continuation. It's got to be a for sure red candle though. So no FOMO moves here, of course. We got about 10 seconds left on this candle. I'll be watching it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breakout V3 continuation right there. See where it's
order filled. Order filled.
So I don't know what happened to one of my accounts here. For one of my accounts, for some reason, it didn't let me. No, that's fine. Wait, what happened to one of my accounts here? So I hit my TP. Let me just count this real quick. I want to make sure all my accounts are fine. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think my accounts are fine. For some reason, I got an error on my accounts here, but I think everything's fine. So full TP on that right there, guys. Nice work. For some reason, I entered my position, and then it said that my contract size was too high. I don't know why I did that, but full TP right there, guys. Great work. I just got super confused because my Ninja Trader gave me some sort of error, but that's fine. I flattened all my positions, so I'm good. Yeah, I was confused for a second there. I had to manually close it out because it said like a bunch of pop-ups came up on my Ninja Trader. Let me second check my messages. I don't know. It just kind of scared me for a second because I wasn't sure what was going on, but it's fine. Okay, so full TP right there, guys. I mean, it looks like there was slippage across like all my accounts because of that error, but it's okay. I'll take it as I can get it for right now. And there goes the first trade for this week. I'll show you guys my profits. It was kind of weird. It like half the accounts were fine and the other accounts were like half profit. So there we go right there. I took it for a 20 TP or a 1020 TP stop loss. There's no other entries here available right now, but we could start to set up for a momentum divergence. So I'll be looking for this here to push up a little bit and then maybe come back down. Let me just take a screenshot of this real quick. There was an MPS right here that came up super quick, guys. Yeah, there was an MPS that came up right here. It was like a really quick entry. If any, it looks like a lot of guys here caught it. So Daniel caught it, Nathan caught it, CJ caught it, and Nick got it. But it happened super quickly. Yeah, Kenny said MP sizzle hit, MP Pizzle sizzle hit. So another MPS right there, guys. The MPS looks like it's pretty solid right now. So if you guys want to take these MPS entries, you just have to focus on like when these candles come up because they come up very quickly. So we had the sell signal here come below. This green candle traced up. The entry happened right here at the 90 mark. It was a very quick touch. Price literally came up, touched it, and came right back down. A good handful of people here in the group caught it. So nice work on catching that there. But lately, for the past couple of weeks, the MPS has actually been pretty smooth. Yeah, Nick said, "Oh, you almost had it on the Zoom right there." Yeah, so Kim said huge slippage, only 30% of profit. Nikki said hers is she's having issue. She's on with support right now. Bit of an issue. Tom said his was bugged. He had to manually close it and it was still bugged. Close it and reopen Ninja was fine. The bug was scary. So it seems like a lot of people here had an issue with that with the last entry that you guys took. I mean, I did too. I'm going to show you guys my profits real quick. Let's see if I can pull it up over here. Okay, so let me close this real quick. Pull my chart back up over here. I'm still looking for entries, guys, so don't worry. I'm hoping we can find another one here, but if not, obviously I'm not going to force anything, but I will be looking for another opportunity here if possible. It's 6:30 or 7:35 right now. We still have some time, but here are my profits from that last trade. So I made about 800 on like a couple of my accounts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts here made 800. And then you guys can see the slippage over here on the other accounts because I had to manually close them out. Let me see which one had the issue. Just one account here that had the issue. Let me see if I can pinpoint it. Yeah, it was just one account here that had the issue. Oh, I see. Okay, makes sense now. Okay, so yeah, actually all my accounts were okay. Just had some slippage over here. So basically most of my accounts had 800, some of them had 700, some of them had 600, and then my personal account right here had 500. So that's pretty much what I locked in for the day. I'll add up my profits a little later, but right now we just don't have anything here. I was just trying to figure out what account had the issue. And I pinpointed it was just this one account that I set the wrong contract size. Okay, well, I'm glad that the issue was like on my end and it wasn't like an Apex problem or something like that. Sounds like some of you guys do have some issues with Apex right now. I think specifically if you guys are on Rhythmic, a lot of the people who are on Rhythmic have been having issues lately, you know, with connection, entering trades, exiting. So I typically don't use Rhythmic, so I'm not familiar with it, but for the most part, it seems like that's the main issue for a lot of people right now. All right, here is the levels chart. So if you guys remember my drawings over here earlier, I don't know if I can pull up the old ones. I had the buy one and then I had the sell. Okay, so there goes the sell that I marked up here earlier. So see how it pushed down to the next level right there? I knew price was going to break out of this area and eventually it was going to push to one of the levels. So price was currently ranging within this area. I said if price breaks above, it's going to push up to this whole number. And if it pushes below, it's going to hit below to this whole number right here. And that's pretty much where price went. So the levels here do help a lot. You can see if you entered right here on this break and close, that would have been the entry point. And I'll keep looking back to the levels over here to give you guys a better picture of like what's to happen. But typically that's what we were looking for right there. The same pattern can happen again right here. So if price breaks below one more time, look for the retracement and continuation. If it continues down to that point, then it's likely to push down to the 600 mark right there. But I'll come back and take a look at that later. Yeah, Kevin said, yeah, Rhythmic went down for a bit during the 7 o'clock news. Yeah, you just want to be a little careful with those. It's a little tricky. All right, we got some team profits over here. We have some profits from David. Nice work, David. Total profit of 150 for the day. Solid work right there, David. Yeah, if you guys have more profits to post up, you know, feel free to send them in. For the most part, we're just following through here. So everything looks pretty solid for the most part. 7:40 right now, guys. So it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. As we get closer to 8 o'clock, we'll see if price continues to move. If it goes sideways and there's just nothing going on here, then we'll probably wrap it up. Again, today's Monday, so it's just a feeler day. You guys can see how the market moved from today. Here's a clean chart. It actually moved pretty good. So we did get into a big range right here. The best part about today is that we didn't get stuck in consolidation like we've had for the past couple of weeks, right? We had some consolidation right here. Price came up, came down, ranged here for a bit, broke below, and then we went into a bigger range. I'm okay with these big ranges here. So if we're within this big range, that's great. You know, I'm okay because we could trade within this big range here. The only thing that I don't like is when price consolidates. So when it goes into a consolidation like this, maybe one small breakout consolidates, maybe one breakout back below consolidates. That's the stuff we don't like, right? We don't really care for this type of movement. But when there's a big range, like for example, right here, this is perfectly fine because we can look for some V1 variations or some CV entries in between. And then when price breaks out of structure, you can look for continuations like a breakout V3 continuation, which what we took earlier today. Price is currently below the support level, guys. So you want to be careful because this is an area of where price will probably fake out and pull back into the range above. Pretty much what's been happening for the past couple breakouts earlier, right? Price broke below over here, faked out back up, broke below, broke above a here, pulled back below. Same thing with this here. It's, you know, going to break at this point, consolidate, and then possibly pull back into the range. So just be careful with your guys' entries. I mean, especially now as it gets closer to 8 o'clock. I think price might just consolidate from here until 8. I don't think much is going to happen here. If price picks up, great. We might be able to find one more entry, but if not, you might want to be a little careful with what's to come, of course. Let's see. Daniel said that high-low hit just took a while. Didn't take it though. So there's a high-low that came up. Looks like there's a couple high-lows here that came up actually. There's like one right here. This is probably the cleanest one because there's no touch. Another one right here, right? I think that's the one you were talking about. So there was one right here. This one is actually pretty decent. It went hand in hand with, there's a bunch of entries here that lined up. So we had our breakout V3 continuation right here. And thanks to Kenny for mentioning that, because I wouldn't be looking at breakout V3 continuations unless Kenny over here gives a heads up, like, hey, why aren't you guys taking the breakout V3s? They're hitting. And they did hit pretty solid right there. So that right there was one we took. It was followed up with a high-low scalp right here. And there was another high-low scalp that came up right here as well. That kind of played through right there. So there's just a bunch of entries that kind of lined up with each other. These are the things to pay attention to. So like if certain entries are hitting, you want to focus on those because that's probably what's going to happen next. Looking at current price right here, it's pretty much just consolidating sideways. This is the type of market that we don't want to trade in because there's just not much movement. What I would look out for here is a possible retracement back up and then correction back down, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for. But it's not looking like we're going to get much of that right here. 8 o'clock is right here, guys. So I'm going to hang around for maybe about like 7 minutes or so as we get closer to the 50 mark right here. If price continues to go sideways from here until the 50 mark, then I think it's about time to wrap it up for the day. If not, we'll keep looking for entries here. But right now, it's just not really looking like it's going to move too directional. I could be wrong. Might have spoken too early. I missed it. Yeah. So Daniel said divergence candle. So I wasn't expecting this candle to dump like that, but it came down super hard. And this was actually the divergence that we were waiting for earlier. I just wasn't expecting it because this was going sideways right here. This candle came down super hard. Divergence happened right there. It looks like Nick caught it. I don't know if anybody else did, but this happened super last second. This candle was actually pretty flat. The last 10 seconds price started to dump a little bit. And that's where the divergence happened. Right there. So it looks like everything that we were looking for actually played out already. So we had the sell signal right here. We had a breakout V3 continuation. Price came back below. Retraced right here with the divergence. Then it came back right here for a cross below it. And that was the divergence entry that we were actually looking for. Came through, went straight to full TP. There's a lot of setups today, guys. So there's a lot of setups that have been coming up. This is a good sign because we haven't had a day like this where typically, Monday's like the feeler day where it shows you all the entries that are probably going to come up for the week. And a lot of entries have come up. We've had MPS come up. We've had the PRV come up. We've had a breakout V3 continuation. We've had some CV entries over here come up. There's a lot of setups that have been setting up. So, this is good. This is the type of market that we were waiting for. We haven't had a market like this for the past 3 months, basically. The entire spring was pretty much flat. Yeah, so Nick said 3 legit trades today, basically, and the others were kind of iffy. Yeah, I agree. So the MPS was good. PRB was good. The breakout V3 continuation was good. Everything else is kind of iffy because of the red flags, right? We had the sessions up here. We had news price over here. The good sign about today is that price is actually moving. So if this is the case, looks like we might be in for some directional movement for this week. And we'll be able to look for some more opportunities as the week progresses. I'm just glad that we're starting to have some entries here because it's been a while. Past couple of weeks, there's been like a lot of days where there's no entries, and it's just really unusual because we typically have at least 1 or 2 entries a day. But for the past couple of weeks, we've gone like days with no entries, and today's actually pretty smooth. So guys, if there's any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If there's anything that you want me to cover, let me know. It's currently 7:46 right now. So with that said, there's not really much time from here until 8 to set up for another entry. I'm not really expecting much to happen from now until then. If you guys have more profits to post up, go ahead and post your profits in the Discord over here. We have Nick with some pretty great profits for the day. He locked in 3,200. Nice work, Nick. We have Narith here. Narith locked in a total profit of 28,000 across all of his accounts. So each account here locked in about 1,387 times multiple accounts here. Of course, total profit of 28,000. Nice work, Narith. Killed it today. Okay, so since we're waiting here, I'll just add up my profits here as well. So I locked in 600. Let me see how many accounts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 times 600. And then my personal account locked in 500. Oh shit, my bad. 14 times 600 plus 500 plus 700 plus 800 plus 800 plus 800 plus 800 plus 800. So total profit, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total profit of 13,600 for the day and for the week so far. We're still getting a dump in price right here, guys. But again, I think at this point, price is overextended. I don't really recommend you guys chase this. Let me measure real quick. So from this high right here to this point, price has dropped almost 200 points. So I don't recommend chasing the sells here, at least not yet. If we had a CB entry or a V1, I would have taken it. So if price pushed up a little bit, came back down, I would have been okay with taking it. But because price is like, it's not really smooth right here, I wouldn't take it for me personally. But currently right now, let's see. So for the week of the day so far, I'm currently at 13,600. And it feels weird posting on my profits like this because we haven't been able to do this in a while because there just hasn't been any trades. There's been like one trade each week. So looks like we might be back in business, guys, with consistency, hopefully. All right, so currently up 13,600 for the day and for the week so far. Hopefully this continues for the rest of the week and we just continue to stack up from here. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:50 right now. I'm not really expecting much to happen from here until 8 o'clock. I think what might happen here is price might just consolidate for a bit and then eventually it'll break out again. So we might get some sideways movement here again and break out, sideways movement, breakout, sideways movement until we get to 8 o'clock over here. And then from there, it's probably just gonna be sideways for the next hour or two. So this is pretty much what I was telling you guys, for the past couple of weeks. A lot of people were asking, well, not really a lot of people, a few people were asking like if we're going to do things differently, if we're going to adapt to the market. This is why I said you can't really change your trading style or your strategy because, if we went to a sideways strategy or a sideways style of trading, you would have missed out on all these entries here, right? Because the market was not sideways today. So just keep that in mind, guys. Once you guys figure out your trading style, the way you want to trade, stick to it. Just because the market's not moving in your favor for that specific time period doesn't mean it's going to continue to move that way, right? So you just want to stick to the way you're trading. Stick to your edge. If your edge is to trade trend-based strategies like we do, then stick to the trend-based strategies. If your style is sideways trading, or if it's breakout trading, then stick to that style. There's going to be times where breakouts are working very well. There's going to be times where sideways strategies are working very well. But for the most part, the market's typically trending in the morning. So that's why I stick to my trending strategies here. I don't try to change things up. Even if price is going sideways, I'll stick to my style of trading. So yeah, guys, today was pretty good. If there's anything else here that you guys want me to cover, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I think this is about it. You can see how price is just going sideways. Let's go to our clean chart. There's pending structure right there, but it's not established yet. Realistically, price is probably just going to go sideways for this right here. Let's take a look at the levels chart real quick before I get off. So you guys see here the levels chart, it pretty much did what I was kind of warning you guys about earlier. Again, price came down, retraced up to the whole number again, and then it pushed right back down to the next whole number right here, the 600. So I'll keep marking up the levels here just to show you guys how price moves from level to level. The couple of things that you want to look out for are things like the momentum signal, right? Momentum signal, break and close, next level, break and close, next level. As long as you factor in the trend and the momentum, odds of this pushing to the next level is more likely than not. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, price is probably going to go sideways here until 8 o'clock, and then price will probably go sideways until about 9. And then it'll probably go directional from like 9 up until the end of the session. So let's see. CJ said CNBC is saying NYSE is having technical issues. Maybe that's why it's dumping. Possibly. Damn, that's crazy. What? That's crazy. You guys see this right? Berkshire Hathaway is this. If you guys are not familiar with Berkshire Hathaway, this is what's his name? Warren Buffett's his index. There's no way he's down like 100%. It's a lot of money. So yeah, that's probably why price is kind of like moving a little iffy right now. People are kind of chasing it because they're seeing that things are dumping and they're just selling off. They're trading off fear. But I think this here, this is all an error, of course. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any other questions, let's see. Daniel said probably trying to stop Roaring Kitty. I know if you guys saw that news from earlier today, Roaring Kitty showed that he has 116 million positions on GameStop. I think that is crazy. He could literally buy the company at that point, right? He's probably like he probably wouldn't be able to buy the company. Of course, GameStop's still valued higher, but he's probably one of the biggest holders. Yeah, 5 million shares of GameStop. It's nuts. So I guess we'll see. We'll see if these YOLO stocks continue to climb up. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. You guys can see prices going sideways. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up for the day. We had a pretty great day to start off the trading week. Hopefully this continues on with the rest of the week. But if you guys have any questions, reach out. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys back here